You are watching Financial Wellness. I'm Randy Alvarez. My first guest is Kent Brooks, principal of Brooks, Juka and Associates, a United Benefits Advisor member firm. He is here today to discuss employee benefit packages, what every business owner, human resources director, or chief financial officer needs to know. Kent, welcome to the program.
Randy, thank you for having me.
So you are an employee benefit specialist. Tell me about that.
For about 27 years, I've been an employee benefit specialist, working as an agency to help consumers, businesses, corporations design and install their employee benefits packages, their welfare benefit plans, medical, dental, vision, life, disability, insurance products.
Who's your typical client?
Well, in San Diego, our typical client is a small business, generally between 2 and 50 employees, although our firm actually covers employer groups from 2 to 1,000. We help anyone who has the issue that healthcare costs are rising exorbitantly. They don't feel that they're getting value for the money that they're spending. They feel like they are out of control in being able to even impact what the rate structures are. They're coming to us to see if we can help them work through the maze of all the tax issues, all the compliance issues, all the service issues related to the insurance of welfare benefit plans.
So I'm sure there are a lot of people that have, health benefits in their company, and they're just letting it's what they've always used.
Yeah.
And they're probably not doing the best thing for them.
Well,
Is that
Randy,
right?
it's a little bit like any other industry. We have our own language.
Okay.
And that language is confusing at best. So a lot of times people will adopt something as a small company, and then they will grow their organization and become a completely different entity without updating and changing the methodology they're using to
So they're paying
distribute
too
healthcare.
much?
Many times they're paying too much.
Okay.
Oftentimes they're not paying wisely. And many times they're not using all the tools that are available to them to make it a more efficient system.
Okay, so the people you're talking to, by the way, the owners of the companies, who else?
Financial officers, HR directors oftentimes have the responsibility of putting together the welfare benefit plans.
Okay.
And that world has become surprisingly complex in the last
how has it
20 years.
changed?
It's changed the way all other industries are changing. A lot of tax information, a lot of compliance issues have come forth. And now employee benefits departments are challenged with keeping all their compliance rules. We have COBRA laws, we have FMLA, Family Medical Leave Act, and how does all this relate to your insurance package?
Okay.
It has become a real issue just keeping in compliance, keeping all the required documents together, communicating those things to your employees at an appropriate time and place. And then, of course, insurance industry is also trying to differentiate itself in terms of who would buy what product. So they're trying to compare apples to oranges and giving it to your HR director to evaluate which is the best program. It's fraught with misunderstanding. It's an awful lot of language barriers that don't really communicate what the benefits are. So it's a complex issue.
So is your client the person that already has benefits and they want to see what else is available to them?
Many times. A lot of people have been purchasing benefits through brokers. In fact, one-man shops and small mom and pop operations write the majority of employee benefits by number in the state of California.
Okay.
These people may come to us because they have outgrown their benefits advisor who really isn't capable and not having the resources and tools available to go multi-state. For example, we have clients that last year opened 19 stores and in about 13 different states. And it's very hard for a one-man shop to have the resources and tools to be able to accomplish having feet on the ground in each of those locations to help those particular employees. That's one of our clients. Other clients already have brokerage firms that they're working with. But in that instance, we try to look at the resources and tools that are being made available by the brokerage firm to make the program more efficient.
Okay.
The cost of insurance is the cost of insurance. We ran for years just on designing plans. That was the only strategy. Once you get past the plan design, you're going to find that you know the cost of insurance. Okay. What else can you do now to make that package more efficient in the way of communication to employees, in the way of administration by your HR department, in the way of operations, in the way of compliance? Insurance is spiraling out of control. We know that.
Okay.
The cost is going up at double-digit inflation every year. At some point in time, you've got to look at the whole package. And you have to say, if insurance costs X, what can I do to be more efficient? What tools and resources can I bring to bear to lower the actual total cost of this package. And that's where we come in.
So how does an employer know, or a business owner know, that they have an inefficient insurance program set up?
The first insight, I would guess, is they're seeing double-digit inflation every year and not doing anything about it. They're just absorbing it. And by the way, an awful lot of clients just sit back and say there doesn't seem to be anything
insurance just
that
goes
we
up.
can do. It just goes up and we're lost.
That's just not true.
Well,
in most cases,
the insurance goes up,
right?
But we can mitigate the effect of that insurance by bringing efficiencies to the system to lower the overall cost. Not just the cost of your insurance is what you're paying. You're paying your HR department and how many people are in that to contract administer the insurance. You're paying people to communicate and identify whether the insurance is even working for your staff. If we can bring tools to bear that will not just lower the cost of insurance, but will make it a more efficient cost, then at least you're getting better value.
Would you say that people watching this, that they've been in business 5 years or more, they've done nothing as far as their insurance plan, they haven't looked at or taken a close look, that in most cases you could look at it and in the overall plan save them some money?
Randy, in probably 85–90% of the cases that we go into, we find that just plan design isn't enough, that we can actually save money by creative plan design, by use of intelligent tools, by bringing in empirical data rather than just, well, let's have a $1,000 deductible because it was between the $500 and $2,000 deductible. We find that we can bring value. Now, I don't call value just the lowest cost. Value is the relationship between cost and benefit. And so what we're looking to bring to our clients is a true value, because insurance has a cost and it's not going to go away.
So what are some of the biggest mistakes that people are making, the business owners are making with their plans?
Probably non-involvement. You put a plan in place, you don't understand it, you don't like the language, you give it to an HR director, and then you just say, I've got it, thank God. What we need to do is to say, let's drill deeper into this. Let's find some methodology to get out from that spiraling cost that is just eating us all alive. Acceptance is not an alternative. We need to be able to look at this package and say, is it serving my people? Could I creatively transfer risk for a better value? Could I add services? Could I add, well, as an example, we do a lot of survey work, a lot of web-based survey work to find out if the employee is happy with the plan that the employer is putting out. Because if the employer spends mega dollars on these plans and finds out that each employee is unhappy with it, boy, there's a real rotten situation. So we do survey work to try to find, what do the employees need? What are they looking for? We add to that empirical data. We, as United Benefit Advisors, run the largest employee benefit survey in the country. So we can tell you by region, by industry, by plan type, what other people are doing that are successful in working through this maze. So we use empirical data to try to say, you shouldn't have a $5,000 deductible. Your average rate of pay is minimum wage. Your employees are not going to like that plan. Perhaps you should consider restricting plan designs into more of an HMO arena, which would be more accepted by your particular employee. Don't spend good money after bad.
Anticipating this interview, my impression was that insurance is insurance, like you say. That's pretty much all the same. But and most people, like with my own company's health insurance, we don't want to fool with it. It just seems like another hassle. So what hassle, how do you take the hassle out of it for the employer?
Well, we come in and with a very little bit of data collection, we can start to put together enough information for us to do a comparative analysis. A comparative analysis is a spreadsheet. It starts to compare the apple and the orange and the tangerine and the banana and put them on a common
So it's an easy one. They just give you their current insurance plan.
Copy of their census, a little bit about their contribution formulas and their protocols, and we will now evaluate them. We will compare them against other companies, like industries, like size, like location. We will give them information about what is working and what is not working. We will offer plan design creativity. One of the things that we specifically like to do is we like to empower employees with choice. Nobody likes to be under the thumb. This is your plan, this is what you've got, we made the decision, tough luck. So we try to empower employees with choice and selections, but in doing so, we increase the administrative burden. So how do we resolve that? we start to bring tools and resources to allow a choice package, a platform with multiple choices.
Is this done online?
Exactly where it's done. We create employee benefits websites, host them for our clients, and we put them
Individual
together.
employee benefit
Individual
websites.
employee benefit websites for each company, each client that we have. It's their logo, their colors, their theme. We support it, we develop it, we maintain it, and we offer it to all of our clients.
Can changes be made?
All the time.
So you're big on technology.
Oh, very much so. Paperless enrollment, electronic management of systems, all of the efficiencies that we can now create to lower the overall cost of the insurance. And
so that's not common, by the way.
no, it's
right?
actually, it's
it's happening more and more.
More and more, but it's the front edge of the wave. We, in fact, for all of our clients, create a transactional employee benefits website for each client. This is a website that every employee can go to, 7/24, and they can find information about their plans. We're not just linking to the insurance carrier's website, but we are giving case-specific data for our employer group to know how much an employee pays. They're going to have a baby in August. They're now just a couple. They're going to have a family rate. How much is that going to cost them? How do they get enrolled? What happens? What's the window of enrollment opportunity? All this information we put on a transactional employee benefits website so that the HR director can operate 6 plans as efficiently as previously having 1.
So So who are you driving the costs down for? The employee or the employer? Or both?
A little bit both. The employer, of course, is who we work for, and the fiduciary responsibility is to the employee. So we go into the employer and we say, let's do some creative plan design. Let's do some comparative analysis, and we'll come up with the best fixed insurance cost we can come up with. Now the next question is, you know how much it costs. Employer, how much are you going to pay of that? So there's an element of sharing cost, and that.
But it costs them nothing to make the transfer. Now what about once they've decided, okay, it's pretty obvious, there's a lot more service involved on with your company. You're getting a lot more benefits in addition to just the insurance. How hard is that transition?
Very, very easy. Right now, the small group in California has a regulatory environment that says whether you go to a broker or not, you pay the same price.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So a broker is a value add. We bring these services for the right to be your broker.
How involved are you, by the way?
Well, I thought a long time ago whether I wanted to have a company of 6 or 8 people, and I would be the salesperson, the person out meeting the clients closest to the decision maker, or whether I wanted to be sitting in the corner office with 600 salespeople. I chose the former. So I am directly involved daily with all of our clients in that I am the strategic person to develop plans. I have a support staff that helps me with all the service capacity, the development of websites, the use of our survey tools to help employers really find out what their employees need and want, and all the myriad of resources and tools that we bring. It's a very simple process. Interview a professional and find out if they have the creativity, the knowledge, the experience, the integrity. Because as a broker, I'm coming to you to ask for a position of trust.
Yeah.
Because I probably know more about employee benefits than you do.
Yeah.
So I am asking for a professional position of trust. And if you're going to interview me, you're going to need to know what kind of person I am.
Okay.
Okay? To make that strategic partnership, you write a letter, develop it, and it's done.
Let's go back to value adds again. Tell me some of the value adds. I mean, the value adds to their existing policy?
Yeah, we're not talking really about changes to their insurance policy. We're talking about various tools and resources that we can bring to bear that will affect their overall cost. We do an awful lot of work, as I indicated, in web-based information. If an HR department wants to know what their employees are interested in, we bring survey tools to bear. If an HR department needs help in navigating the compliance issues, we bring to each of our clients the Fisher Phillips website. That's one of the largest law firms that deals with welfare benefit plans in the nation. They have a website with compliance features, with tools that will help an HR department person determine, gee, I just had a military person go to active duty. What's the USERRA protocol for me dropping them and restarting them on my insurance? All that information is on a desktop assistant that we give to every one of our HR directors. It's a tool. It's a resource.
What are the frequently asked questions the HR directors have for you?
Well, a lot of it has to do with working in compliance. Probably 30% of my business now is complying with the new CMS, Medicare Part D, age 65 programs. We comply with COBRA. We comply with HIPAA and the security and privacy issues of healthcare information. A lot of HR directors, very, very well-educated people who have a lot of knowledge in this area, But the changes that are coming about, both tax-wise and compliance-wise, are really problematic to them keeping up. We offer these kinds of services and tools to be able to give them a resource, so that they can help themselves, and of course they can access us to help also.
Where do they start, by the way?
Where do they start? Basically,
I mean, they think they're fine. Okay, they're watching this, they're thinking, okay, maybe we're not so fine.
Well,
I mean, how do they do it? I mean, I guess it's just all starts with a comparative analysis.
That's the beginning program, is a comparative analysis.
Are there red flags they should know about?
Yeah, there are red flags. I would think that red flags would be employee dissatisfaction and grumbling about the cost of health care, about the options available, about the number of providers, perhaps the inability to add a dependent onto the plan because it's so expensive to add dependents. HR departments are very, very capable and very good at determining whether their employee base is satisfied. Where they're sometimes stuck is, where do I go fix this problem if I find one? And what we bring into the system is a baseline comparative analysis, and then tools and resources to be able to address the specific issues. We don't just say, gee, you have too high a deductible.
Right.
We say, if you're going to attract and retain good people, what deductible should you have? Well, your industry average is this, your region average is that, your plan type average is so-and-so. Now we have some empirical data to start to solve the problems that they're facing. They're very good at identifying
I mean,
the
insurance
problems.
is obviously set up. I mean, companies provide insurance to attract great employees because they have to in most cases. But I guess they...
Attraction and retention is key. That's why an employer does that. You know, an employer does not have to offer an insurance package. There's no law mandating that. This is done solely as an ability to attract and retain people, because the idea of productivity is driven by constancy, not a continued replacement of people, but a constant workforce. So an employer puts this package in order to have a perception and a reality of pleasing the employees. How many benefit packages out there are the employees really unhappy about?
And oftentimes the employees may say nothing.
They may say nothing, and the employer never really takes a look at giving the employee information about why we have what we have. We run for all of our clients an employee benefit statement. It is a compensation review. It's an individual statement that tells you, Randy, exactly what the cost of your insurance is for your employer, your FICA tax, FUTA tax, your parking space. We run a compensation review which communicates to the employee exactly how much is being spent on their behalf on these benefits. It starts with a recognition of what the value is. From that point in time, we listen. We use tools to hear what we want to know are the fine points of the employees, and then we try to develop a program that solves not only the budget requirements of the employer, but the perceived value requirements of the employees.
What do HR directors say once they've adopted your plan or start doing business with you? Does it make their lives a lot easier?
In fact, one of our approaches to HR is, we're not doing you a service unless we can take some of the work off of your desk and pull it to ours. They are overburdened. I see very few HR departments overstaffed. In fact, I'm not sure I've ever found an overstaffed HR department.
Okay.
So what they're looking for and what they find with us is someone who comes in and acts as their outsourced insurance department. We pull in workload off of their desk, either by giving them the tools to be able to be more efficient at it, or I maintain an entirely licensed staff. All my employees are licensed, and that keeps me into it's a little higher expense portion of my business, but it allows my clients' employees to call my staff, ask insurance questions, get information over the phone, and we can be held accountable to the information we give.
Okay.
So we're trying to help take the burden off that HR director by giving them support services.
Now, how do most people pick their insurance plan? They just do an internet search?
Well, there's a lot of that going on now. An awful lot of it is sold through brokers. Brokers go out to the marketplace and get a general bid package, and they just pass it in front of the HR director and say, here's 45 plans, take a choice. I don't particularly care for that approach. My approach is, why don't you first interview us? Determine whether we have knowledge, credibility, creativity, and integrity. Hire us as your strategic partner. We're asking for a position of trust. Trust us to do our job. That's what you hire us for.
Okay.
Let me go out and get 45 plans. I will evaluate them. I know them pretty well. And I can come to you and say, based upon what you've told me you want to accomplish, these 3 might be your best bet. But what we want to do is we want to put one as core, and we want to have the employees buy up or buy down to the other 2. So we try to be able to be a really true resource for HR, giving them an outsourced expert that they might not have available to them on their own.
So aside from the website that the employees can visit, what other communication do you offer to the employees?
Well, one of the things you find based upon the legal environment that we're operating in is that each insurance carrier gives each employee a booklet. Have you ever tried to read one of those booklets? It's legalese.
Right.
And it really doesn't communicate because it's so couched in all the required legal disclaimers that it's very hard for an employee to take that booklet and understand what they have.
Sure.
We are very, very big in the communications process. Again, remember, the value is the perception by the employee of how good the plan is from the employer. So we take, and in addition to our website, we create an employee benefits booklet. It's actually written in readable language. And we give one to every single employee who can take it home and say, oh, I know what I've got, I know what I don't have, I know how much it costs, and should there be a change, I know how much that new cost
it's your own
is going to
booklet.
be. It is an independent booklet we create, we print it, we give it to every single employee, and our HR directors probably thank us for that booklet more than any other one feature that we have. We really believe strongly in communication to the end user and listening to that employee to see if this healthcare benefit plan is actually meeting their needs.
Now, for companies that are growing, okay, they're 5, 10, 15 employees, at what point do they really need to, I mean, how many employees, when they see, you know, we've got to look at our health insurance?
Well, it's a good question. Employees that are very small have a whole different environment to have to work in. And they need a little bit of help to get through the guaranteed issue state of California components and understand what they have. Then an employer will grow from the small group marketplace into the mid or large group, and the products and services and needs that they have change. The issue is we need to be a part of the whole package. I love to find a client who's never had any insurance before. They're starting up a company.
Okay.
If we build a good foundation, that foundation will serve them until they get to a certain size. Then we've developed the credibility with them that they say, okay, we're now getting bigger, what else do we need to do? So we change along with the requirements of the company and grow with them, but I'm a big believer in building a strong foundation because you can't add multi-stories to a building that doesn't have a good foundation.
So it begins with a phone call.
Yeah.
The HR director calls you.
Yep.
Do you meet with them face to face?
Or we call them.
Okay.
And yes, the first thing we want to do is put a face-to-face meeting because in truth, insurance is insurance is insurance. I think Gertrude Stein said that, didn't she? Maybe it was a Rose.
Okay.
But we want to come out and meet face-to-face and say, here's who we are. Because if I know employee benefits as I do, the chances are, if I wanted to, I could make a pretty good showing. But what you really want to evaluate in a strategic partner is all the other components: integrity, honesty. Will I be willing to act as a professional to do what's best for you?
But isn't everybody saying they have integrity and they're professional?
Everybody says it. Now you have to put the proof in putting it out in front of the people.
And you must be on the phone a lot. I mean, because to give this kind of service, the way you're talking.
Not only am I on the phone a lot, I'm in front of clients a lot, but I have a very professional staff behind me, which supplies me with the presentations and with the information and with the data and with the tools that I'm using to go out and talk to my clients about.
What does customer service mean to you?
Well, define it and I will be able to answer it. To me, customer service is the ability to respond.
But do you think you're better than the average insurance company out there?
Yeah.
Somebody watching this?
I think
HR directors have heard it all.
Yes, I think in terms of response, we can show that. In terms of capacity to be able to accurately and quickly respond with the right information, everyone touts service. To me, service is the availability of the resources you've hired to be able to work for you at a moment's notice, be accurate, be concise, be complete, and be held accountable.
Okay, and technology. Are you a leader in technology in this industry?
We are at the front edge of the wave in technology in this industry. And by the way, staying there is the challenge because the industry is changing, just about the technology industry is changing as fast as the insurance industry is. But yes, we are working with a lot of electronics, a lot of web-based systems, a lot of information flow. The average consumer today, as a matter of fact, we haven't talked about this much, but part of the programs that are out there is consumer-driven healthcare, which is the ability to give consumers information to make transparent the cost of a hospital and a surgery so that a consumer can make an educated decision on, gee, which hospital do I want to go to based upon how's that hospital outcomes on the type of surgery or process that I'm having.
Okay.
Technology is giving the consumer more information. Unfortunately, in the insurance industry, that information is coded in our language. So part of what we bring to you is the ability to interpret that
Interpretation.
and give to our clients immediate, accurate, and accountable response.
Let's talk about money, actual money saved. So to the employer that's watching this that has 40 employees, they have their plan and it's just been the plan and they haven't looked at it in a while. What kind of money are we talking about saving this?
And it's inflating at 15% a year and they don't really know what to do about it.
Okay.
The issue is eventually through comparative analysis and creative plan design, we will get the insurance to cost what it needs to cost in order to accomplish your goals.
Okay.
We'll find that finite cost. Then from that point on is where we kick in and say, wait a minute, can we do this with less administrative overhead? Do we need 6 people to contract administer this, or could we put in electronic enrollment and do it with 4? Can we put in web-based information systems and give people data about hospitals so that they can use efficient cost hospitals? Can we give them information so that they can change behavior in order to not be unhealthy? We take it from where the insurance leaves off, and that fixed cost, and we try to impound that cost in a positive way by giving tools and resources to your HR department and your business owner.
So the overall savings really is...
The overall savings can be significant, yes.
What do you want every HR director to know about you?
Well, that we are available, that there are others like us out there who do a very good job in this world, and if you want to look past the just flat cost of insurance and incorporate into this expense that you're dealing with the administrative and operational expense, that you want to consider somebody with the technology and the resources and the tool bag that Brooks Juka and Associates has.
Well, thank you for coming on the show.
Randy, my pleasure.
Very interesting, very good. You're watching Financial Wellness. I'm Randy Alvarez. I wish you financial success.
There's a new secret to looking younger, an advancement so profound, it took a team of scientists years to create. A time machine called Zoom. Getting zoomed is the fastest way to erase years from your looks. Zoom is the most advanced teeth whitening ever. Only your dentist has it. Nothing works like it. Zoom Gel gently penetrates the submicron pores of tooth enamel. The patented Zoom Light super activates the gel through a unique photofenton reaction, breaking down the stain's double bonds. In just 45 minutes, years of discoloration disappear, transforming your smile to wow. To find a Zoom dentist near you, go to zoomnow.com or call 800-891-4895. For your whitest, most confident, most irresistible smile, get zoomed today. Make your appointment at zoomnow.com or call 800-891-4895 today and discover the wow of Zoom.
Designs for Health is the nutritional supplement brand of choice, exclusively recommended by healthcare professionals.
As a physician, I insist on the science-first approach of Designs for Health. They have synergistic formulations with optimum quantities of therapeutic nutrients.
Designs for Health, the leader in professional brand nutritional supplements.
Tried all sorts of cover-ups for bad breath? Try the science of BreatherX. Only BreatherX has Zytex. It attacks the cause of bad breath, keeps working for hours. It's clinically proven for real fresh breath.
Get non-prescription BreatherX from your dental hygienist and now at fine stores everywhere.